watch. We made it. We were a little late, but we made it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second watch. I see a lot of friendly faces, familiar faces in the chat. Welcome all. I want to give a quick shout out to Wib Stopson, who just became a member, an expert member of the second watch. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your support. Before we get into the good stuff, speaking of memberships, there's a bit of a snafu, a bit of a kerfuffle. A mistake, if you will. We did the whole thing on the Discord server, and then here we had like the immortals, up to immortal. But on the Discord server, the red for your standard free member on the Discord was just jarring and made my eyes bleed, Gary's eyes bleed. So we changed the memberships on the Discord. So if you're just a free member, you're just there to hang out, you're white. If you're the lowest tier here on YouTube, you'll be red, expert blue, and then companion. Sorry, Dan, you're no longer an immortal. You're a companion. The immortal, as Brian put it, should be reserved for the founders of the second watch, which is the three of us. So, but we do appreciate those of you who have been, made memberships. If you have paid for a membership and you're on Discord and you're still a white, let me know. Some of you have, for reasons beyond me, have different handles depending on what social media platform you're on. It drives me crazy, but I get it. But that's why I'm Lord Mattias no matter where you go. So if you see a guy named Lord Mattias and he's got a little Final Fantasy Black Mage sprite, it's going to be me, whether I'm on, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, it's going to be me. But yeah, get in touch with me if you don't think you have your permissions correct. I just made a video, released to members just yesterday. It's part 3 of my Gods of the Forbidden North series. It will be available to everybody on Sunday. Speaking of videos, Gary made his verse video last week on FaceRip. It's very good. I love it. Please go check it out. Gary, what do you think about it?
It's okay. I think it's my first. I think it's my first video, is what I think. It'll get better, it'll get better. But I'm gonna do a whole series on FaceRip. By the time I'm done with this series of videos, we're gonna go through all. We're not gonna do like every power, but all the basic rules and the little things. And the reason we're doing it is so that I get better at it. Sorry, Dan. Because I'm going to be running a lot of FaceRip, and there are little quirky details, the little quirky details.
Yeah, okay, that's going on, I guess. Thanks for
absolutely.
I think I saw who is it? Dwayne Rogers. Good to see you, man. I think I've seen you before, but this is definitely thank you. Good to see you here. Hey Ultra, what's up? I'm looking forward to it. I did some cheesy, not good videos on comparing Marvel and Heroic, but you've been using it longer than a lot of us. I'm looking forward to more of those videos, the insight. And you're running Marvel on the Discord server, so that's cool.
And it's actually part of the membership thing. So basically, I've got an every other Thursday game going with like my personal group of friends, and I think we're gonna open that up to not. I don't want to sell it as like a living world or anything bigger than what it is, but it is its own sort of Gary's comic book universe. And so I think what we're gonna do is, if I have enough interest, that every other week, that in between week, I'll do a members game, taking in the same setting, same NPC, same universe. So,
yeah, we got a $10 super chat from Robert Santon. Hey man, good to see you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I saw you just asked a question here. Can I ask a question about RPG in chat? I'm thinking about buying it. If not, no big deal. Great to see you guys again. Are you talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, are you talking about Face Rip? Are you talking about a different game? What are you talking about? Well, we'll wait till he responds. But
Yeah, we do have a guest, so we
yeah,
got to
no,
get through
yeah,
our news.
yeah.
We got to get through our news. We do have a guest.
Yeah, speaking of the games on the server, so Brian wants to run 5e. He's going to challenge some of you OSR guys to like broaden your horizons. So if you're interested in Brian's technique as a game master, this might be something you might be interested in. It's in Mystara. Gary and Brian are on opposite side of the spectrum. I'm kind of in the middle. Chaos, okay, you can figure out who Chaos is. And then I am going to be running I'm going to be starting up a long-term mothership game on the server. Probably going to run Sunday afternoons at 3 p.m. I don't know when the start date's yet. I'm actually going through some of the books right now, kind of refreshing my recollection, and that's going to turn into a series of videos, deep dive into Mothership. I've been dying to play this for a while, and if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. So looking for, I think I have a couple people interested already, but I have 5-6 slots open. So please let me know if you're interested. And paid members get first seat. Just remember that. Though I have reserved one seat, and that's for Warp Plots because I know he's a Mothership fan, and I'd love to game with him. I've gamed with him in the past, and he's a fun guy. So your seat's already saved. Okay, one last thing, or two last things. Next week is Tenkar. We're going to have Tenkar on. This is going to be a great show. I can't wait to just talk about the OSR, where he thinks the OSR is going to go. He's also released a book about OSR play that's free. So I'm looking forward to that. And then finally, I want to give a shout out to Technobabble. Dean, you played a hell of a game. You ran a hell of a game this past Tuesday. You can see it on Fox of RPG's channel. We played his game Zombie Rain. I survived, and I didn't betray the party. I was actually lawful, and I was trying to help people. Gary would have been so proud of me.
Hans, you found a legal loophole. You were not nice. Anyway, go ahead. I know that didn't happen. Lawful evil.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I'm working with a 3-part alignment system. We're not going to worry about the other part. But yeah, it's a great game. I really loved it. I kind of wish I backed it. So Technobabble just told us it just went up on drive-thru a couple days ago. I think it's worth checking out. I'll probably end up doing a deep dive, or not a deep dive, but a review of it on my blog. Speaking of blogs, I just released the review today of Ryan David's Greenhaven. You can check that out at lordmatius.wordpress. I think that's all the news. All right, let's get our guest in here. He's been waiting patiently, maybe impatiently. We'll find out. Hey man, what's up? He's still here. Right. He didn't leave.
He didn't run off.
How's it going? All right.
It's going well. It's going well. All right, man. You got a lot of stuff. Thank you for sending us some PDFs to look at.
Yeah.
Righteous Vow, Righteous Violence, 2 different projects or zine. Tell the people what you're doing, please.
Oh yeah. So my main kind of zine / book series. Originally, it was supposed to be a zine, but then I am a long-winded MFer, so then it turned into books. So
yeah,
and that's kind of the joke is everything's like 150 to 200 pages long, but we just still call it a zine on the soft covers just to trigger people. But yeah. Yeah, we've got. I just finished the 4th one, and the PDFs have gone out for that, and we're actually there. It's at the printers right now, so here in like a week or two, they'll be reach our fulfillment center, and then Jeff will be sending those out to everyone who backed. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I write Righteous Vow and do all the layout, and so then. Right now, what I'm trying to promote anyway is Zach Goins, a wonderful human being in the OSR space. He is the marketing guru from Limithron, and also I'm fortunate to call him a friend. We hang out at cons and hang out we got to do a cool Kansas convention this year, which was really fun with a lot of creators, where we just hung out and played board games and RPGs, and it was a blast. And he invited myself and many other creators to do what's called Side Quest on Kickstarter. And what Side Quest is hey, Dwayne. Dwayne is actually one of the 3 main artists on Righteous Vow. He draws a lot of art, and
the art is fantastic.
The art is great. Yeah.
So, you're doing a great job. And I just, before you go on, I just want you're being a little modest. You're more than just the author. You're like everything. Like you're doing
not everything.
So anyway, continue.
And that's the other thing. Please interrupt me at any point, because I am a long-winded dude that will just keep talking. So please do. It will not offend me. I love the OSR space. I love creating. So I've kind of, in the last 2 years, turned into this guy who just loves doing OSR related Shadowdark and Pirate Borg projects, and we're doing our first Pirate Borg RPG zine. It's on Kickstarter now. It's called Righteous Violence. So if you go on Kickstarter and look up Side Quest or Righteous Violence, you can find it. And the reason it's called Righteous Violence is because I do a series of Shadowdark zines called Righteous Vow, and then my friend Erica Lowe Tarpley, she is a creator. She made Borg. You may have heard of.
Oh, that. Yes.
Yeah. So she did the other adventure in the zine. So it's kind of going to be a flip book where it doesn't have a back cover, because you flip it over and that's the front cover of the other zine.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I was wondering how you guys were doing that, because I was looking at them like, okay, so they're 2 adventure modules that you're getting, but it's supposed to be a single zine. I've seen stuff like that, like choose your own adventure style, like books from back in the day. Oh, that's very cool. I like that.
It's kind of like a shout out to, like, in the 80s and 90s when you'd buy a split EP of 2 different bands. I kind of always loved that idea. So, and I know there's nothing new under the sun. Somebody else has done that before, but hey, cool. Thanks for.
So, real quick question for you. Righteous Vow. For people who don't know what Righteous Vow is, because I hadn't seen it until I earlier a few days ago.
Yeah.
What is Righteous Vow? Kind of give them the lowdown. What are you doing with Righteous Vow? Because you're on volume 4, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I never thought that we'd be already 4 books deep into it, but it's just a lot of fun. I've got a lot of ideas. Not every idea I have is a zinger. We've thrown some out, but
yeah.
But
I throw all my ideas out, man. So.
Yeah. Well, once I have an idea, I usually try to be organized enough to where I like back burner things, and we've got the board of ideas, but basically Righteous Vow, it started out as I was gonna actually, my buddy in Omaha, his name is Wayne, and he's actually Wayne Brecky. He's actually one of the editors on Righteous Vow. Him and his wife Lori are Big Ink writing services here in Omaha, and they do a fantastic job of editing me along with other editors that I work with. I know that Ben Klima was essential on this on the last 2 books, just because he does a lot of helping me out with content, as well as Will Tramp, this FNGM. You've probably seen him around.
Mm-hmm.
But Will is one of my buddies. He's a great dude, super energetic, awesome DM. But it really takes a village to create these things. But the original idea for Righteous Vow was I just wanted to create a really cool Shadowdark zine. Yeah, there you go. Agile Monk just posted it up there. He can do it faster than I can say it. But it's just something where people can take pieces of it if they want and throw it in their adventures, or they can, it's got enough in there for a hex crawl and a campaign that'll keep you playing for a while. So it's not only just like several adventures that you could steal and throw into your world, but it's also something that if you want to play through the whole story, it'll give you, you know, I always want people when they buy our adventures, the first thing is I want them to have fun. Fun is always at the forefront. I want people to enjoy their time with what we're creating. And the second thing I want them to do is go through it and go, wow, that was a great value. I feel like I got more than what my money's worth out of it, you know? And I love artwork. I'm a huge art guy. So we just load it with tons of original human made art, and that's how we roll. So
very cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I will get into the I can't speak right now. We'll get into the substance
sure
of Righteous Vow 4, because you gave us a review copy, and I really like what I saw in it. But it James Desborough, he once said in one of his streams, reviews that he used to do many moons ago, that, like, you know, buying adventure modules is hard to, like, it's a hard sell, because a lot of times it's one and done, right? Like, you got the adventure, you run it through with your buddies, and then that's it. Very few adventures really stand the test of times, like Village of Hamlet or Castle Amber, right? Or
N1, you know, which is my favorite.
Sure. Yeah. So, and I again, we'll get into the substance of 4, but it seems like what you're providing with Righteous Vow is more than just an adventure, things that they can take with them, you know, them being the player group, that goes beyond whatever adventure you're providing. Is that fair to say? Is that something that you consciously thought about?
Yeah. I mean, I want everybody who picks up one of our zines and looks like, you know, if you go to the Arcane Library booth at Gen Con, we are very fortunate that we were selected as one of the third-party creators that Kelsey's going to have. Michael Putlock and Kelsey will be there, you know, slinging zines. So, and our zines are right at their booth at Gen Con. So we're really excited about that. Yeah. And they were there for Gary Con. Any time that the Arcane Library booth is there, our zines are there, which is, you know, that just goes to show just how supportive and awesome Kelsey and the Arcane Library is, just because they support their third-party creators.
They do. Real quick, thank you, my ear trumpet Mercurius. Thank you very much. $1. Appreciate it, man. I know you're a member, and I appreciate it. Yeah, well, that's the thing too, and it's not just. I mean, Kelsey. It seems like, you know, I obviously don't know her, but it seems like she knows, like, what is going to help advance the brand that she's built, and, you know, it's, you know, I'm one of these third-party guys that like to, like, create stuff, but, like, I'm learning as I go. I know my production quality ain't the best at times, but when I see what you're doing, and I'm like, yeah, this is, like, really good. So it's more than just that she's supporting third party. She's recognizing, like, what's gonna, like, actually, like, push her brand forward, in my opinion. And that's what I like. That's what I really like about your Righteous Vow series, specifically number 4. Because it's got pirates in it.
yeah.
And I haven't, I'll be honest, I haven't read the other ones. But is it safe to say those aren't about pirates? That's, like, other stuff that you can use, right? But the thing about Righteous Vow 4 is that you've now taken the Shadowdark concept, right, and into the setting, and I think that is kind of where a lot of third-party writers. It's the idea. To move the pirate. Oh, am I here? Did I freeze?
No, Matt, you're good. You froze up for a while.
Can you still hear me?
Okay. He was asking you about pirates. You doing more pirates?
Yes.
Tell me about pirates. What are your plans for pirates, Bill?
Yeah.
Bill,
yeah.
What kind of pirates?
Yes.
What pirate? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So Righteous Vow 4, the first 3 were not about pirates. The first one was very undead themed with a Lich King in it. The second one was actually, it was called The Whispers of Men, which is kind of like a play off of The Secret of Nim, because it's all the ratkin versus lizards. So it's a really rat and lizardmen themed. The third one was like a dragon adventure with orcs and paladins and dwarves, etc. But this one, I just really always wanted to do a pirate adventure, and I started working on it actually 2 years ago before I'd ever even discovered Pirate Borg. So it was like, oh well, all right. But I still feel like it's a different kind of pirate adventure, because the Dark Caribbean, even though it's amazing, and I love Pirate Borg, and that's why I started writing Pirate Borg and have a Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that and look at you all at the same time. My camera's kind of, yeah, and you get to see
our chat can be ruthless, FYI.
So this is not my good side. I got my scar. That's all right, but it's all good. But yeah, I got sidetracked and squirrel. But yeah, Pirate Borg is awesome. And then the reason why I'm writing Righteous Vow 4 was actually one of the original ideas I had for an adventure before I ever wrote the first Righteous Vow, was a kind of seafaring adventure. It wasn't originally just pirates. It was just like a medieval, fantasy pirate adventure. And the Dark Caribbean is very much like alternate universe 1700s American history, right? Whereas Righteous Vow 4 is very much a fantasy setting with pirates injected into it, so it definitely has all of the tropey goodness of fantasy along with a pirate theme. There's a buccaneer class built into it. We also, I decided to go even crazier and come up with a spell list for 3 new classes of spellcasters. We've got a pyromancer, a hydromancer, and an aeromancer. And the reason why I wanted to really do that was because I felt like the hydromancer and the aeromancer would really tie into like the nautical and like the naval combat and, pushing the sails,
Sure.
Role play, fun ways to manipulate the seas and cause storms and push ships away from you with magic. And then the pyromancer, because I wanted to create a magical way where black powder could be introduced into a fantasy setting without like breaking it for other games, because I love when an adventure has black powder in it. But I don't want to like mix it with adventures that aren't supposed to have that sort of thing. So our explanation is that on the Primal Islands, these islands where this adventure occurs, and there's a whole hex map of them, and there's, some of the islands are mapped out, some of them are DM, fill this in here and make your adventure, and it gives you kind of vague ideas and adventure hooks, but it's a whole area where the black powder works, in this area of the world, but the pyromancer leaves that part of the world or anyone with the black powder and it suddenly doesn't work. So so that way you're not bringing those black powder characters into and muskets and stuff like that into adventures that your DM will be like, no.
As a fan of Lamentations of the Flame Princess and Black Powder, I was excited to see those rules in Righteous Vow 4.
Cool.
But
and thank you, by the way, for your kind words.
No, it was cool. It's cool. It's very cool. Like I said, I think I've said this in various other places. Shadowdark provides a nice structure that a scaffolding, if you will, that you just build off of. And Righteous Vow is like, well, that's why I was like, when I first looked at it, I'm like, are all his zines about pirates? No. But no, it's very cool. And I actually, when I saw the hydromancer and the air elementalist, what was it called?
The aeromancer.
It actually brought me back to the days of playing Mystara, where I was playing like a sea elf who was like, excited to be on a ship and using his spells to like propel the ship forward. I'm like, yes, this is really cool. Very, very cool. So like, well, kind of digging into Righteous Vow 4. I mean, it's more than just adventure. It's more than just some of the character classes that you've created. You have ship to ship combat rules in there.
Yeah, the whole point with Black Mass and Magic, which is what we called it, Righteous Vow 4. I wanted to create a book that had everything you needed to play a pirate themed adventure, and it gave you the rules, and all of the rules for the ship to ship combat are based off of Kelsey's rules in Cursed Scroll 3, because it's more of a Norse Viking themed,
right?
It's got the sea wolf and all of the Nordmen and women, and I love that zine. It is my favorite out of the 3. I love it. Now there's new favorites because I really love the underworld one that she's created for 4, 5, and 6. But I just really clung to those rules. I wanted to make sure that I took what she built and then built on top of it, so that way it kind of gave that next step, and it wasn't anything that didn't align with her vision, But I also wanted to make it my own as well. So there are little things that are different, but most of it just is, I'm familiar with this because I saw it in CS3. So this just builds on that and creates a little bit more depth to the seafaring rules, and introduces cannons and introduces like different maneuvers. Like that's one of the big things that when I was playing Pirate Borg, being a guy that listens to the Pirate History podcast and has read all the different pirate novels throughout his life, and is a huge fan of Black Sails, and then went on to read all of what's his name's book, oh man, I'm brain farting the guy's name, but he was like a Navy SEAL who was like the historical accuracy liaison on that show. He wrote a bunch of really great novels, but and I just really I really love the raking shot maneuver, and just the different ways that you could add different rules to the nautical combat to give it just a little more rewards for maneuvering certain ways, but not getting too crazy because we still want to keep it rules light,
Right. Well, I think that's one of the balance. I know with my first zine for Shadowdark, that was one of like the biggest challenge, was like, because like I'm the kind of guy that like I could easily go into the weeds of something, right? Like, because I was just writing for something for the Red Room's Wretched Interbellum, takes place in the 1920s and 1930s, and I'm like, how fast do ocean liners go back in the 30s? So I started doing all this research into that, right? And next thing I know, I'm like diving into like seaplanes, steamships, the different types of things, and I'm like, whoa. I just want to play a game. Like, I don't need like a dissertation. So I think that's one of the coolest and I say it is a cool challenge with Shadowdark to mesh with what Kelsey has presented, right? And I think I didn't have a problem with Cursed Scrolls 3. I was like, hey, we got some ocean rules, we got some ship rules. But you've taken it to the next level, and I think people want that level. I mean, I heard you were watching Black Sails. I never saw that, but I'm thinking Master and Commander. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And
Love
people want to do that, right? Like they want to have that opportunity to like try to outsmart the opponent and like do some cool stuff with their ship, right? So I think that's very cool, and that was something that stuck out at me when I was taking a look at Righteous Vow 4. So I think that's very exciting. It's a very exciting addition to the Shadowdark, I guess, whatever.
And thanks for the kind words, because I mean, it was something that wasn't there yet for Shadowdark, and I wanted to, and I've been planning on it forever. I know that there was another company that was like saying they were going to do like a Pirate Dark or something, but I can't remember who they were, but I'm sure theirs will be different and cool too. But I was just like, I've been planning this since the first one came out, so I'm going to do it anyway. And, hopefully mine will be exciting too. But, and that's kind of what Than Than Gibson from Dark Space RPG, he said to me, "You should have just called this Pirate Dark, Bill, because it's basically a Pirate Dark rule book." But I mean, I'm just continuing with my Righteous Vow theme, and yeah.
Well, I think if you do expand on this, and maybe you should, I don't know, because it is got some cool stuff in there. If you have some more pirate ideas, but I will say this: this is like my only criticism
Sure.
of the third-party Shadowdark community is the goddamn naming convention. I am done with Shadow this, Dark that.
Yeah.
I love Righteous Vow. Righteous Vow. That's like, yes, I love it.
Yeah. That was the joke that I had for Zane and Bunny from Dungeon Damsel, because they're working on Super Dark right now.
Yeah.
And I told them at North Texas RPG Con, because they're like, Bill, will you write something for Super Dark when we do our thing? And I'm like, absolutely. My favorite movie growing up as a kid, one of like my top 3 for sure, was The Rocketeer. And nice. That movie just like it holds a special place in my heart. I married a beautiful brown-haired girl like Jennifer Connelly, so there you go. Because my wife, I'm Ron Swanson. I like brown-haired girls and breakfast foods. There you go.
I think you misheard
it's a great comic book too, by the way. If anybody ever wants to go look it up, The Rocketeer is a great comic book, and the artist, writer, creator left us way too soon.
Oh yeah. And I'll tell you what, that's exactly what I told Zane, though. Getting back to your like Super this and Dark that, I told him I'll write one, but I'm going to just call it Super Duper Dark.
It's so no, you got what that scene from oh crap, what was it? It's so black, so evil.
From Spinal Tap, right?
Spinal Tap, yeah.
None more black.
Escape it. Yeah, no, I was just like,
how much blacker can Black Album get? Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, but yeah, no, I love that, and I think, and I actually talked to Erididium, who's in the chat, like, because he's put out a couple of Shadowdark stuff. Just the system is, like I said, it's a nice scaffolding, but like, and I know everyone wants to capitalize on it, but oh my god, how many different ways can we say dark or shadow?
Right? Yeah, that's kind of why I kind of separated myself from that, and that was actually one of the things that Kelsey told me when I first did Righteous Vows. She's like, thank you for trying to separate your work from me a little bit and making it your own, because I think she might appreciate that when people don't try to copy her so much that people get confused, because I think that has happened in the past where people have created Shadowdark products that have been so close in like look and feel and theme that some people might get confused and say, is this official? But I've always just been like, no, we're Crawl Club Publishing, crawlclub.com. But I mean, super thankful to Kelsey, super thankful to, Michael Putlock and all the Shadowdark community, because it has just been a lot of fun. I'm just, people are like, what are your plans? Keep making fun stuff as long as the talented people around me want to continue working with me. Basically the plan. So
yeah. No, I think I do think it's actually a smart move just on a personal growth level to separate yourself, because I mean, there are guys that I've picked up their stuff, and it's like I might like think it's okay, or I might like it, but it's so close, and that I'm not gonna really remember. But like Righteous Vow and like the work you put in, and we'll start sharing screens soon. Like, it stands out. Like, it's definitely its own thing. But I got to go get a refill on my bourbon.
Sure.
So Gary, you've been waiting. I've been talking too much. I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's just us, Bill.
Sounds good.
Get out of here. Later. Let's talk shit about this guy. All right. So Kickstarter, is it a Kickstarter or is it a backer kit?
I did. I've been doing Kickstarter mainly because I just listened to Zach Goins. I'll tell you what. So Zach Goins is a genius and a talented and wonderful person, and he has put more time into like helping me to understand and navigate the RPG landscape than I probably deserve, and I appreciate him greatly because he kind of just because I do all of my fulfillment through RPG Ramblings, which is Jeff Jones does all of that. And he uses the same fulfillment through Jeff. So that's the beautiful relationship we have there as well, is like anytime I have a Kickstarter, I try to put his books on like as add-ons on my Kickstarters, and then vice versa. And we kind of help each other out that way because they're all shipping from the same place. So it makes it a lot easier because it's like, you know, they're all going to ship from the same place, save people on shipping. If they want to get these books, they can also get these books, you know. But I really, I think that Kickstarter is definitely kind of the way to go. A lot of people do have a lot of success with BackerKit as well. I know Zane and Bunny with Dungeon Damsel have done fantastic with BackerKit, and then even like Tuesday Night Games, they did that. Yeah, by the way, you were just talking about. I just got this in the mail, so I'm also going to be.
Oh, nice.
Mothership, yeah. And this. So I mean, I love Mothership, man. I've already got the regular one, but I had to get the deluxe one. So, and but yeah, I love Mothership. I love, man, that's my other joke that I say all the time is the only reason that I make these books is so I can afford everybody else's cool stuff. But
yeah, yeah. Well, that's I don't, maybe I shouldn't say this publicly. But you know how like Drive Through RPG kind of like has like its little, it holds your money.
Yep.
And then when you buy something, it's kind of like, hey, would you like to use this?
And you're like, don't dip. Oh, I'm gonna.
Yeah. I'm just like, is this money laundering? Am I money laundering right now? So anyway, IRS, please don't watch this. Anyway, so I've made tens of dollars, so it's not a big deal. But no,
well, this isn't your first. Hold on, this isn't your. Is this your first Kickstarter, or
no.
Did you Kickstarter all the previous ones as well?
So actually, the very first Righteous Vow I just released on Drive Through RPG because I was just getting started, and I showed it to Kelsey. I was on the Discord one day, and I was like, "Hey, I made something. You want to check it out?" And then she was like, "Oh wow, this is really cool." And then a bunch of people like Adrian over at Dungeons and Dyslexia, and then Chiron over at Fox Off RPG, and then actually Will. And I'm brain farting his channel name. Oh no. But Will, gosh dang it. Anyway, it'll come back to me here in a minute, but Will actually, he's a great dude too. And, but his channel, they all work together. And if somebody knows Will's channel, post it in the chat so I can feel terrible about not remembering it. But all those guys were super supportive, as well as the Shadowdark community, and they got behind it because they thought it was good. And so then for my second one, I did a backer kit for Righteous Vow 2, and that did 8,000 and got, probably, but that was all like print on demand. I didn't actually do offset. Yes, Rune Forge tabletop gaming. There it is. Thank you, Chiron. You are the man. But Chiron is super great. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and ADD squirrel to a new topic real quick, just to tell you that Chiron is actually, if you go and check out Shadowcrawler Carnage, which is our Dark Space RPG adventure modules that I wrote for Dark Space, it is actually Shadowcrawler Chiron, who is named after Chiron from Fox Off RPG. So, but yes, and there's Greg. We got Greg in the chat, but
bleary-eyed, he's staying up late. I would say he's staying up just for us, but I think he's here for you.
Yeah, he's probably here because he wants to hear us talk about our love of parkour. But
oh, speaking of which, okay, I want to tell this story because this is how we met actually. So Brian and I got invited to Chubby's late night Saturday game at North Texas Con, before the last night of gaming. You, Michael Putlack were there, and then Bunny and Zane were there. So Brian and I are just looking at each other, looking at all you guys, are like, sweet, this is going to be a fun game. And holy crap. So we're playing Shadow City, Chubby's game. We're all playing vampires, and Zane's getting into it. Bunny's getting into it. Brian's doing his thing, and then you and I basically made the same character who can like parkour everywhere. So that's pretty much what we did the entire game. We're gonna parkour over these guys. We're gonna like rip off the heads of these normies, and then parkour over here.
We had our Michael Scott werewolves parkouring everywhere.
It was fantastic. I had such a great time. But yes,
so sad.
And that was
so sad. I missed that game.
I really thank you, Greg. That was an experience. It was super fun, and I really had a blast just because I got to hang out with everybody and just play in random games. Like I even got to Joel Allard, which is one of the Texas guys. That guy was a blast. He showed up to my my Righteous Vow 4 Black Mass and Magic playtest game wearing a pirate hat. So that was
nice.
Awesome. And got to run that. And then, Michael Putlock ran a Ghostbusters themed game of this. It was out of these zines. I'd never even heard of it, but it was awesome. I loved it. And then we got to play Weird Heroes of Public Access, which I'd never played that before, but that game is amazing. I basically got to be Rex Kwando from Napoleon Dynamite. It was basically my character with the American flag pants. But Greg's game was amazing. I loved it. Was all good people. It was just a great time. And Greg writes great stuff. I celebrate his entire catalog. So so that was fun. And Joel is awesome. He just decided to like run Scarlet Minotaur on a whim in the middle of the convention hall, and he had like 10 people at his table. I was taking pictures of it. I was like, dude, you're killing it. He's like, this is the first time I've ever DM'd anything, and I'm like, dude, you're doing great. He was getting into it. It was awesome. So
nice. Yeah, this past North Texas Con was the first time I ran anything. I admit I was a little nervous because the other times I've run at cons, they were much smaller, like more intimate kind of affairs where I kind of know everybody. So it was the first time I was running some of my stuff, and I don't know. I don't know if you get butterflies, but like when I'm like running some of my stuff, I'm like, oh my god. I know I've play tested this, but are they going to think it sucks? But what was interesting, what was cool actually, was like this group of 4 dudes who like game together online, and the only time they get together is at North Texas Con.
Oh, that's cool.
They came to my second game.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, it was really sweet. And one of us was an artist, so like we exchanged numbers and whatnot, business cards. So like I plan on using them in the future. Yeah, it was really cool. I love North Texas Con. I don't know. Was that your first time there? Have you been there before?
It was. Yeah. I have been to Gary Con a couple times. I love Gary Con. It's kind of one of those conventions where once you go, there's no way I'm not going ever again, love Gary Con. North Texas, it was a first for me. I had a blast. In fact, your guest next week, Mr. Eric Tankar, I met him for the first time there, and that was cool. He had me on his show to promote Righteous Vow 4 when it was being kickstarted.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and he is a really great guy. I really enjoyed hanging out with him. And I just got to hang with everybody. I see Zane and Bunny at several different conventions throughout the year, and it was a blast to see them. I'll hopefully see everybody. If you're going to Gamehole Con up in Madison, that's where my next convention will be. So I'll be up there in October. Also, Nuke Con here in Omaha. We're going to do I'm actually organizing all the Shadowdark RPG games at Nuke Con. So we're going to have several tables of throughout the convention. It's like every hour of the day, you're going to be able to get a Shadowdark game in. So really excited for that. But
I wanted to highlight this real quick. Edgelord, what's up, man? Good to see you. I can never run anything at a con. My imposter syndrome would prevent me from doing so. Dude, it's like, to me, it's a rush, because like just this past week I was at VentureCon and I ran a play test of something I'm running for the Red Room.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who was at my table were people I didn't know, which was very strange and unique for VentureCon this time. But I learned so much from that play test.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoyed it. A couple questions I had were answered, and then I noticed a few things that they didn't notice, thankfully, that I got to fix. But it's such a great, I don't know. I think it's like a rush. It's like, performance. I don't know. Not like performance in like you're doing a song and dance or anything, but like you're on stage and you're doing a thing. I don't know. I like it. I like the rush, but
yeah.
Anyway.
As for me, I was a drummer in metal bands in high school and college, and I've been on stage so much that it's just kind of like, whatever, I'm good. I've done it at Gary Con, so I can do it anywhere else, because I feel like Gary Con is probably like where, the pressure's on the most, because this is where all the, the greats run games, I guess, is how I feel. But maybe Gen Con could be that way, but I haven't been to Gen Con yet. I'm going to try and go next year. But I feel like that comment saying that I could never run anything at a con, my imposter syndrome would prevent me from doing so. I have imposter syndrome all the time, especially like when you're 90% done writing something and have it close to coming out. There's like the stages of creating anything or writing anything. And I'm in marketing. I'm an audio video editor and producer. And then I also am a layout artist because I love InDesign. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. The stages are, you got the great idea, then you create the thing, then you make it like 3/4 of the way through, and you're like, I suck at life, I'm gonna hide under the table, I'm a fraud, and everybody's gonna think this is the worst thing ever. Then you get like close to the finishing line, you're like, this might be good, and then you produce it and send it out in the world, and everybody's like, oh, this is great, and then you're like, oh, okay, I guess it was pretty good. So then like 3 or 4 people tell you it sucks, and you're just like, oh well, at least every time it's at a convention that they're gone from the tables at the end, so it must not suck that bad.
Right. Yeah. I was it's funny. I didn't know you were a drummer, because Gary was a professional musician.
Nice.
Back in the day, I was a bass player in a grunge band, and
we have a band.
Yeah, I know.
We
got a power trio
together.
But I think there is that performance aspect, and if you just get past it just a little bit and just kind of enjoy it, because they're just there to have fun too,
Yeah.
So I don't know, Edgelord, you should run games.
Yeah, you should. It's a blast, and that's the other thing. Like I ran a game at the FLGS last Saturday of Shadowdark, because we do a monthly Shadowdark game there, and then I do a monthly Pirate Borg game now. Oh my gosh, and I do a weekly. It's ridiculous how much I run. My wife is very patient and understanding, but we went on an adventure. We have a West Marches campaign. We're going out from the keep to go do this thing, and I kept rolling ones out in the open. It's like, oh, there's an encounter. Oh, there's an encounter, and they had to fight. And I'm rolling on the tables. I'm like, oh, you get attacked with surprise from both sides by bears. All right, awesome. So, and they made it through everything, but then they get there and it's like, they made it through 2 rooms and they ran away because everything was just murdering them. So, and sometimes things don't go the way you planned at all, because like everything you've prepared goes out the window. But at the end, they're like, Bill, I had a great time. That was awesome. We got to dive into those tables in the book. It's like, this was different than what we usually do, and I loved it. The exploration was great.
Yeah.
Sometimes just like it can go completely sideways and people still love it. So you can't screw up. Just keep giving them, hooks and fun things to do.
Agile Monk. During my college days, I was actually part of a progressive punk ska outfit.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun. I don't care. Sorry, Gary.
No,
but
nice.
We called ourselves J Hookah.
There you go.
Just throwing it out there. Okay.
One time I was sitting around with a bunch of guys, just talking, chewing the shit, and I said, what's something you really want to like, but you've never been able to? And my friend, just like without dropping a B, goes, ska.
Yeah. You know what? You know what? I don't hate it. I love it. And when I was in college, I actually got a scholarship to play drums. I played in the jazz band, but I also played in the hockey band. And that was awesome because we had like the Civic Auditorium where the UNO hockey band, like nowadays they don't have like a hockey band, but we had like a Saturday Night Live where I had my drum kit. We had like a full horn section and we would play like Pick Up the Pieces and, Frankenstein and whatever, and all these
Yeah.
different jazz and fusion and funk tunes. And it was just so much fun because I just got to play in front of, a couple thousand people every weekend and watch hockey for free, and they'd feed us too. So it was awesome. When you're in college and you get fed, you show up,
You're right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no, free
Absolutely.
food is half the reason to be there.
Exactly.
So, all right. Is this zine? Are you going to continue doing the zine format, or is there something else you have planned after
Yeah.
this? What's coming up for you?
Well, I've gotten a lot of questions and requests from the readers and from the fans of Righteous Vows saying that they want to have a world book eventually, and it kind of goes against the grain on it a little bit, just because at first I was like, I'm not going to make a world because I want this to be stuff that you drop into your own world and whatever. But even if I feel like now, even if I created one, it could be like the west reaches, or like the northeast reaches or something. I don't know, but I kind of just want to make something that would and I don't even know what I'm going to name it. It just kind of will map out all the adventure and hex crawls we've already got, and we've already started working on pieces of that. The other thing, I'm working on a city adventure zine, and then also something with woodland elves and fae. That's going to be one of the upcoming Righteous Vows. And then I'm really enjoying like something that I've neglected to talk enough about, I feel like, so far, is Righteous Violence. Writing for Pirate Borg has been a blast. I went to GaryCon this last March, and I had the best time playing in the Pirate Borg games in that water park over at the Timber Ridge. Man, or Timber Lodge or whatever it's
Hey,
called. Man.
I go every once in a while. I find myself at the Pirate Borg site. And first off, let me say that Pirate Borg is the best of all the Borgs.
Oh yeah, by
Yeah.
far. By far.
We have a reputation of giving the Borgs a little bit of
Yeah.
grief, but Pirate
Oh yeah.
Borg, I think Pirate Borg is. I think Pirate Borg. It looks great. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about it. I have been every time I go to the website and they've got something with all the maps and the little tokens and all the little extra shit they do. I just want to drop like $300 or $400,
Oh yeah,
and
dude.
it's just they've really done well, and not just in the rule book and the art and everything contained within, but everything that surrounds that game it's
Yeah.
really good job, man. Those guys did great.
Seriously, Luke is such a creative and just amazing artist. Not only
Mm-hmm.
artist, but adventure designer too. And I'm just gonna say it because I don't care what the Ennies said this year. I feel like it was criminal that Pirate Borg starter set is the product of the year. I'm sorry, but there is
I don't have
nothing
it, but it
better.
looks great. That's one of
Yeah,
the things that tempts me.
there's nothing better that came out this year than that Pirate Borg starter set. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
No,
disagree completely with everybody else.
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
don't. I mean, I don't want to tarnish your good name, but I don't have good opinions of the DNEs at all. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
even care if someone says, "Oh, I got an Ennie for this." I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care.
Right on.
I know the Three Castles Award from North Texas Con. Okay,
Oh,
to
there
me,
you
that's an
go.
award. Okay,
Okay.
but I don't really give a shit about the fucking Ennie.
I don't know.
Uh,
I care about it just because I want
Precisely
people
because
to
of
be
what you just
celebrated,
said,
but
though,
I don't know.
because like there's some good stuff out there that gets overlooked because of
Yeah.
I don't want to
And
go down this road, but I'll just say I am going to say it. Fuck it. I've been drinking. Politics. Fuck him.
yeah.
Hold
Anyway,
on,
all right.
hold on. Chubby just said, I just noticed All the new chat messages appear to spring from Gary's loins in the background image. Oh, yeah. Many things spring from my loins, Greg.
Oh, he just noticed the way the
Yeah. Sorry.
okay.
No, yep.
That's
These
what
things
happens when you're
happen.
not here regularly, Chubby. Pregnant pause.
He's
Stare
always,
accusingly.
he gets tired at this time of
I
night.
know. He needs his nap. He needs a
We
nap.
love you, Greg.
Nice.
Anyway,
Agile mode.
back
What is
to
a
Bill.
Nice. Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
Real
No,
quick,
that's
I just
fine.
saw
No,
Connect. Hey, Connect. Thanks for stopping in.
Yes.
Love seeing you in chat. Take care.
Thank you for being here.
But yeah, we do give Morkborg a bit of a grief. Morkborg
Yeah.
in particular. But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Pirate Borg, and
Mhm.
and what I think, despite all the grief I do give Morkborg and its adjacent, whatever, the third party licensing that it did, like
Mhm.
when it first came out, was absolutely brilliant, and it's the same, and it helped build a community that
Mhm.
supports it. And I see like what Kelsey's been doing with Shadowdark is very similar. Where I think the Borgs is a little bit more niche.
Mhm.
And I think Shadowdark appeals to a broader audience. Not saying that there isn't any overlap. I'm just saying I think subject matter wise, it's a little different.
Mhm.
But I think that kind of like licensing is what you need if you want to actually develop a thing. I don't know how many creators who are like really good, they put out a thing and then it's not supported. They don't do follow-up like
Yeah.
adventures, they don't do zines or whatever, and they just expect people to just sort of flock to it. It's like you need to support your thing so consumers are like, oh, this thing is worth picking up. And I think it's one of the smartest things you can do to have a very permissive third-party license. And
Oh yeah.
Shadowdark did it and Borg did it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Kelsey's doing it right. Luke and Tyler are doing it right. And I think that just the enthusiasm uh, behind what they're doing, like I can't say enough about how, I mean, people say it, but she's as advertised. She's so kind. She, each time I go to GaryCon, she walks right up to me and spends like at least 20 minutes with me, talking with me about, oh, what's going on with this? How are you doing with this? How are things going? And this year I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to get that much time with her. She's a big deal and there's a lot going on, but she actually took quite a while to spend with me. It was really great. And she'll check in and it's just great to see that. And then Luke and Tyler, the amount of effort that they put into, like, they did these epic events and these tournament modules, and I signed up for those when I did GaryCon. I was like, I want to have like the Pirate Borg experience this year, so I went and I signed up for, like, they did this Maelstrom event, which was like all these tables, like trying to get the highest score in there. It was basically Curse of Strahd on a ship. I mean, there's more to it than that, but it was really fun because it was like you're hunting vampires as pirates on a ship. And that's like a very loose and not exactly the best way to describe it, but that adventure was super fun. It was great to play in that. And then there was another one where it was you're trying to sink the ship of the dead, and it's all the tables trying to do what they can to attack the ship. And I don't know, it was just so much fun to play in all those events for Pirate Borg. And Tyler dressed up like a pirate and was like yelling stuff across the entire
That's cool.
water park. And it was just, those guys put so much into it and made it so fun. It just made me go, okay, I'm going to drop everything and I need to write something for Pirate Borg because this is so great.
Real quick, hey Robert, thank you for stopping
Yeah.
by, man. We always appreciate you. We always appreciate you and your support. Thank you. Well, let me I got the PDFs open, so let me do some sharing, some screen sharing. Just give me a second so I can like manipulate here. Okay, what would we like to take? So, your righteous violence is what? Oh, that's Lucky Devils. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
there's
there's two adventures in there, and One is Lucky Devils, which that's Erica's adventure, and then there's Sailing the Seas of Fleas, which is my adventure that I wrote. But I did layout for both of them, and then the artwork was done by various artists. Rick Bass did some of the art, and then we've got Dwayne Rogers, and yeah, and then there's
how many days left are on this Kickstarter?
I think it's like 3 days left.
All right.
And once those 3 days are up, then we're going to go to print. So, and that way people get everything.
Cool.
So,
yeah. Some of this art is really cool. There's some of this art is really, really cool.
Yeah. Derek Stevens did some of it. And then some of it is actually some of the public domain art that I found that I'm trying to remember the guy's name off the top of my head, and I'm brain farting it, but he's brilliant too. But yeah.
Hold on a second. Sorry. I'm having difficulty.
All good.
No, I really like this layout actually with the ship.
Yeah, that's Dwayne Rogers. He's in the chat. He made that ship right there.
Very cool, Dwayne. Very, very cool.
Hand drawn ship.
Yeah. Now that is very cool. That that is one of the things that a lot of third-party products they don't nail the art. And I'm a very superficial person. If it doesn't look good, I'm probably not gonna buy it. That looks good.
Real quick, we got a $2 super chat from Brian DM Cloaker. Question for Bill: what zines besides Cursed Scrolls inspired your work?
Oh, great man, a lot of things inspired my work. Like a lot of classic adventures inspired my work too. I'm a big fan of Dark Tower, Janelle Jacques. I'm a huge fan of N1 Against the Cult of the Reptile God is my favorite classic adventure. I really love that. I've got a ton of different just so many different influences as far as adventures. I obviously, like Luke at Limithron is a huge influence. Kelsey Dion. I really like a lot of the DCC adventures. Harley Stroh, like what's that? Sailing the Starless Sea. Love that adventure. I really enjoy, Gary Gygax's work, The Village of Hamlet and the Temple of Elemental Evil. Played through those. Those are blast. I love the old school stuff. It's kind of like I think Matt Colville, like he's a huge influence, but he said in one of his videos a long time ago, and I felt like it fit really well. I wasn't around during that time, but he said there needs to be like a word for this where you have a nostalgia for something or an era that you weren't a part of. And I feel like that's what the OSR is to me. It's like this nostalgia of I want to be a part of this. I wasn't around for it, but now I'm way into it, and I love it.
Yeah.
That page right there, actually, if you can zoom out on it, I don't know if you can, but just to see like the whole snake and the apple thing, that page, like I really enjoyed. I felt like that page right there, page 6, turned out exactly how I wanted. I was like, I love this page. This is perfect because you got the volcano behind it. You've got the symbolism of evil, the snake and the apple kind of wrapping around the tables. So that's a page where I'm like, hey, I did pretty good on this layout, go me. But
yeah, and this is Erica Lowe's contribution to this Kickstarter. So there's some really great art here, man. And it definitely fits the Borg vibe and what they do. It's very cool. It's very cool. I'm going to jump over to Righteous Vow.
Sure. Cool.
Because I like this a lot. I really, really like what you did here. And I'm going a little too fast. But yeah, so you got the Primal Islands, you got your encounter tables, some contents, blah, 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 blah. Intro to blah, blah, blah. Let's keep going. All right. Overview. Okay, what now? Factions. I love factions. You need factions. It's fantastic. Hooks and backgrounds. Like this is just chock full of stuff. It's how many pages? 214 pages.
Yes.
This isn't a zine, it's a book, folks.
It is a book. It's 214 pages of adventure for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit more. Well, to kind of bounce off, I usually save this for the end, but this is a perfect segue. So, you know, about to bounce off of Brian's question. So
Mhm.
Gary Gygax, as you know, famously, produced in his Dungeon Master's Guide, the Appendix N, all the books that inspired him and Dave Arneson to write the
Mhm.
game and influence the kind of like the things that went into the game. What is your Appendix N? What music, books,
Oh man.
movies,
Oh
what influences your writing, but not just your writing, you as a game master, what
yeah.
influence it gets you jazzed to play and like influences your creation, your writing.
Okay, well, I would say like I know I could go and just like say, Robert Jordan, Tolkien, I could go down that road, but like
Sure.
there are like three more recent fantasy authors that really stick out to me and like really fit what I love about fantasy. And I would say, and one of them's not as recent, but I'm a huge fan of David Gemmell.
Oh yeah, yeah,
His
okay,
books
yeah.
are amazing. I really love. I'm a huge fan of Christopher Buehlman. I think
Oh
that
yeah,
The
yeah.
Black Tongue Thief is probably one of my most favorite recent fantasy novels, and I think it's amazing. And then one of my favorites, and he's probably at the top of the list for me, is I'm a huge fan of John Gwynne. And
Hmm.
John Gwynne, The Faithful and the Fallen, that 4-book series, as well as the Bloodsworn trilogy, are just absolutely top of list for me. And I just really enjoy that more modern fantasy, but also epic. It's really great epic fantasy. But I also, I mean, I get influenced by a lot. Like I play Darkest Dungeon, and that game is super fun. I've got it on my Switch so that my kids, we play Switch games sometimes. But I got Darkest Dungeon on my Switch, and I play that, and that's super. I mean, that's basically Shadowdark, the video game. I feel like.
Right.
Um,
So yeah,
yeah.
I've had many a conversation with Lamentations guys. They feel that it's the Lamentations video game, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
but
it
there's
might
so
be.
much that Shadowdark and Lamentations, I think, in terms of vibe, share.
Yeah,
I
for
really
sure.
do. I really do. In terms of like, but I also think that part of that vibe is because the modern game, starting in 2000 with third edition, really became like this like super heroic, like high fantasy sort of
Yeah,
thing. And Shadowdark is like really kind of going back to your earlier point about nostalgia, is really looking back towards what the game was originally about. And I think for the modern player who wasn't there at the time, it seems gritty and cutting edge. You know what I mean? And just like just really uber challenging. And I think that's a good thing. It forces players to think because at the end of the day, I think engaging with the environment on that level is really where the fun lies. But anyway,
definitely. Yeah.
so,
And that we've got a wide variety of fun NPCs here. I made sure that every NPC had, a full page of
I like.
story and the art.
Yeah, no, I like the layout. Like you open up a page and your entire guy is right there. It's great.
Yeah,
I'm just rolling through this because
sure.
I'll be honest with you. I like. I know we've only known each other for like what a couple months now, but I have been one of my the drum that I've been beating, the bell I've been ringing is like we don't need more retro clones. We don't need more fantasy heartbreakers. What we need are settings, and
Yeah,
Righteous Vow 4 like hits that sweet spot for me. It's like you want to play Shadowdark, which is kind of like a new school OSR thing. Well, here's pirates. Here's a pirate setting, and this is what I think the world needs. And I just absolutely love it, man. I absolutely love it. Here's the Buccaneer. Sweet. I get to play pirate. you know.
yeah. And each one of these we play tested and had a lot of fun with. And it's just we wanted to give it the theme and the feel of a pirate, but keep it rules light and we just followed Kelsey's design and vision on how character creation should go and keep it simple, create a character in 5 minutes, and get playing.
Yeah.
And all of the spellcasters, the hydromancer, the pyromancer, and the aeromancer are all, built off of Kelsey's vision as well. We've got a whole slew of thematic spells that don't break her, her essential rules,
Sure.
but also, give some flavor to this setting. And and each one of them has that it has its own mishaps table for the elemental spells. So bad things can happen, and then a full spell list for each one of them. And I really love, one of the things that really shines for me is just kind of the spell artwork throughout here is super fun. I think that, Andrew
cool.
Beckwith, you might notice his art because he did the Western Reaches artwork for
Oh,
Kelsey.
nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was actually my artist before Kelsey said, "Hey, you want to do some stuff for Shadowdark officially?" And that was super cool for me. I'm his biggest cheerleader. I'm like, man, dude, that's so awesome that you get to draw for Kelsey now, and so it just it makes me stoked that the opportunity of creating our zines gave him opportunities to do more with his art elsewhere, and build him up to new levels of success. So that's great.
Yeah, no, that is very cool. That is
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it. I really do like this zine. I'm not just saying it. Like I really think this is really, really cool zine. And then I dig smoke powder. I dig black powder guns. I love all of it. It's really great.
Yeah, that's actually Matt Morrow drew that one. That's another one of Andrew's, but the one up there with the gal, the pyromancer with the pistol, that's Matt Morrow. He actually is also a Shadowdark artist. And the funny thing is he drew some of the art in the actual Shadowdark rule book. And then I didn't realize he lives like 2 blocks away from me. So like now he plays in my home game and I see him like a couple times a month. We hang out. So Matt is a super great guy and a brilliant artist. Love hanging out with him. So
just wanted to highlight Brian's comment. The commitment to fleshing out his zines with multiple adventures intertwined with systemic design expansions where Bill raises the bar over the typical Shadowdark third-party Kickstarter products. Yes, I agree. Like I actually picked up something last year at North Texas Con, Shadowdark product. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but like I'm looking at it and I'm like, and I did a review on it, so you can find it on my blog. I just felt like there was something missing, and that missing is that added thing that really helps me, if as a game master, help develop my world. If I'm going to drop this thing into the world, and like I said, going back to, I don't know, an hour ago when I was like, or half hour ago, it's more an adventure is one and done. Like, what more can you offer me with this thing that I just purchased that I could like take outside of the adventure and keep using in my games beyond whatever I'm doing right now? So no, I really like Righteous Vow, man. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
And if you guys are Borg fans, please go check out his Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So,
and thank you, Cloaker, for the kind words, and Agile Monk, and all you guys are too kind. I seriously, like, I'm Bill and I'm stoked to be here. That's my motto.
I'm Bill and I'm stoked to be here.
I'm just stoked to be here.
We'll put that on a t-shirt.
There you go. I'm Bill and I'm stoked to be here. I'd wear that t-shirt because it's true, So
all right, so you've done pirates. You got to tell us what genre is next. We're getting samurais.
Oh my
cowboys.
gosh!
I've been look about 10 minutes after I met Greg Chubby. Just a second. Hold on. You dumb dog that say stop. Oh, stop it. Sorry, my dogs.
Oh.
About 10 minutes after I met Chubby, I've been begging him to make me a Red Dead. Sorry, I was yelling at my dogs.
Oh,
I've been begging him to make me like a cowboy kind of game. I know it's not going to happen just because
I think there's already a Shadow West. Yeah, there's already one out there, I think.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say anything. But I'm just curious, where else do you think you can go? You've done pirates, you did the undead thing. what's the genre that you think you
Oh
might be
man.
interested in hitting up?
Well, right now I'm actually excited to get back to fantasy, but but I mean I could explore there. One of the things that I really enjoyed was, I'll tell you what, I think that Than and Derek created an amazing hack of Shadowdark with Dark Space RPG, and I love Dark Space. I think it's
Mm,
a really fun way to play sci-fi. And I got to do that last year. Actually, we did a Kickstarter for that, and it was a blast. Was Shadow Crawler Carnage? Please do go, if you are at all interested in any of this stuff. Go to crawlclub.com. It's the There it is.
Links are in the description.
Yeah. But if you go to crawlclub.com, you can pick up Shadow Crawler Carnage, which is it's basically I don't even want to say it. Shadow Dungeon Crawler Carl with the serial numbers filed off, and that actually, it's funny because I was like, I'm going to make this thing because I was reading that and other lit RPG stuff, and I was a huge fan of I popped so many quarters into Smash TV at the Skateland when I was a kid. I played that game like it was going out of style. And I love the Running Man movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, etc. So it's kind of a mix of all that together, and it's that universe inside of the Dark Space, game system. And I had so much fun writing that, and that was just another, type of game that people latched onto and enjoy. And I can't wait to get back to writing more for that. But you can get that at Crawl Club, and we actually even did like an expansion zine for it, and it's got Adrian Williams wrote an adventure for it, Michael Putlock wrote an adventure for it, there's several others. Zach Goins wrote one of the adventures in there, but we've got a bunch of great creators that wrote adventures and put that in the zine too. Yeah, I think that the sky's the limit. I just, and I don't get too worried about, has it been done before? Has this, because there's nothing new under the sun. All I can control is I want to create this thing because I'm excited to create it. And hopefully it'll be my best version of what I can create and people will enjoy it, And I put hopefully enough of my originality or my flavor to it that people say, "Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun." So
I think that's a good attitude to have. Actually, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted.
No, I was going to say. So, is Righteous Vow? Are you kind of, I'm looking at it as the zine, and I'm wondering if you're sort of on a schedule of some sort. Are you doing this every 3 months? Or are you just doing it whenever you're done, or
whenever I'm done, kind of? But yeah, it's worked out to be about every 3 or 4 months. I've got something in the pipeline, just because I've always got something going on. I was the kid, growing up, that I played drums in rock bands, and I would like sit with MS Paint or whatever and just like draw the album covers, and I'd have like, this is going to be our first album, and here's the track list. Here's going to be, it was like the price of admission was worth the daydream, kind of situation where you just sit there and be creative about something that had probably never come to fruition. Whereas now it's like, oh, I can actually make this happen, and it's real, and I can get the talented people around me to accomplish this, and they're having a lot of fun with it. I'm having fun with it. We're collaborating, we're creating together. And I'll tell you what, Gary, to answer your question of what direction do we go, a lot of the time I am, I'm trying to be more of a planner. But when I started this thing, I was more of a pantser. Joseph R. Lewis and his videos. If you don't watch Joseph R. Lewis's YouTube channel, you should, because he has got a wealth of wisdom and information on his YouTube channel that I just love his videos. And just reading his work, he's a brilliant adventure writer too. But he, there's planners and pantsers is kind of like what he talks about, and I'm very much a pantser that's trying to be a planner, But my artists, they'll draw stuff. Like, that's the whole reason we even made Righteous Vow 2, was because I was going to do this pirate one for 2, but then my artist, like Andrew Beckwith, was drawing all these rat men and rat creatures fighting each other. And I was like, all right, I'll just let's do Ratmen because you want to do that. And he's like, all right. And then I'm like, we got to have somebody for the Ratmen to fight. So then we did the Lizardmen, and that's, it's kind of like whatever my artists are in the mood for, I could make something cool around that.
Man, that's actually a great way to go about it. I forget what I was watching, doing like a Marvel rewatch or something, and I was remembering how, I always bring it back to comics somehow. I always do that. I'm just a fan. But the Marvel method was Stan would go in and tell Jack Kirby, hey, man, here's the story. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And then he would leave. Jack Kirby would draw it. And then Stan would come back in and write the dialogue and the narration. Right.
Yeah.
And I think art, especially when you're talking about sci fi or fantasy, that is something that is really, how many of those weird retro futuristic 60s paintings have we looked at and thought, what is that world like?
Yeah.
What's it like to live there? Or that fantasy world that looks like what we imagined, just a little bit different. What made it this? So anyway, yeah, it's sorry, got distracted by old Cloaker. So anyway, yeah.
No worries.
Let me ask you this: you being the sort of the guy that's spearheading the Righteous Vow, do you ever see a point where maybe you are just the planner and your other people are writing for you, or
Yeah, and that's
is
kind of what's going on with Erica's adventure. It's kind of dipping my toes in that. There is a brilliant and a good friend of mine, and actually anytime I play in a DCC game, like I love Dungeon Crawl Classics and I play in
right?
DCC games here in Omaha, but my DM who I go play games with is Marcelo de Velasquez here in Omaha. He's actually a brilliant DM. He does a lot of the Adventure League and now Greyhawk Adventure stuff. He like runs a bunch of games at Gary Con. He does a lot of I don't think that Adventure League or any of the 5e stuff would happen here in Omaha without him. But he's a brilliant writer as well, and he made a DCC adventure, and I'm actually going to produce it and do the layout for it, and I'm getting the art commission for it, and we're going to do a whole Dungeon Crawl Classics adventure where I do none of the writing. In fact, the adventure's already written. I've just got to get the layout done and the art done, and it's going to be so much fun because I don't have to write it. So, but yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So I'm taking on that producer role a little more too. So yeah.
Yeah, every time I get 2 or 3 drinks in me and we start talking about OSC or any of the old school games, I'm always like, what we're missing, man? I'm always like, what we're missing? We're missing Dragon Magazine every month. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was so much more important than what the people might remember. I think that every month getting an update from your favorite game company talking about the game you loved, was just a lot of fun. That's why I'm always real supportive of the zine scene. I think it's a great way to, and it gives people something to actually hold. What would you recommend for people who, they think they've got something original, they want to do something on their own? Where would you have people start? People say, "What I want to do what you're doing. What do I do?"
Yeah,
what do I do, man?
Just do it. Just ain't nothing to it but to do it. I think that if anybody, it has never been more accessible to create in the RPG and the zine space. Like there are all the tools are there. Most of what you need to do it is free already. The DIY, the DIY attitude. Yeah. But I would say go get. I use InDesign just because I am an Adobe fiend, and I went to Adobe Max for video editing and design work, and I love Adobe products, and I'm just ingrained in that. But I know that Affinity has a free designer out there that you can use for layout, and it is wonderful and a great tool. Yeah. And it can make professional grade stuff, and it's free dollars. So go use it, and learn how to use that tool. go ahead and start a drive-through RPG account, and you can do everything POD to start. So you can get your books out there, create them for $0. Don't go get AI art. Whatever you do, stay away from AI. It's evil. AI comes from evil and everything.
Do you like when you
return
said
to
that?
evil.
I heard heavy metal.
Oh
Dun,
man,
dun, dun, dun.
This is
AI
Gary
is
and I
evil.
disagree on this issue, but continue.
yeah.
No, well, I agree with you, Bill. I agree with you, Bill, all the
We
way.
have a Clankers Suck T-shirt that you can buy on the crawlclub.com store if you'd like. So that'll let you know how we feel about AI. But
Word.
but yeah, I love my artists too much to ever want to use AI. So, but
well, you definitely have like a good crew around you, which you've curated. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's the beautiful thing is like, I mean, Uriah, Dwayne, Andrew, all my editors, Wayne Laurie. There's so many people that it takes a village to create this, and I'm just blessed, thankful, hashtag blessed, but super thankful that everybody puts up with my crap and and wants to do this. We're having fun, and as long as it's fun, I'm going to keep doing it, and yeah, it's a blast.
Well, very cool. We went on this one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm probably not.
Oh no, you're not.
Your question.
It's not your issue. It's just the way the conversation goes. I'm actually trying to backtrack a little bit because
yes, please.
Two of you started talking about games and what you're running and stuff. And
get me back on track.
We got about 30 minutes ish. I want to know. What are you running at your table currently? Like, what games are you running? Are you running any games? And if you're not running games, what games are you playing? And like, we'll go from there.
All right. Good night, Edgelord King.
Oh, hey, man. Good to see you, man.
I'm trying
Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Yes, all the good things. So what I'm running currently is obviously Shadowdark. I run 3 different Shadowdark games. One is weekly and it's only 2 hours, and 2 are monthly. So I'm running Pirate Borg monthly, once a month. And then I really want to run Mothership really bad. I had a Mothership game going. We did the what's the intro adventure? It's like the 4-part.
You talk about the
Bug Hunt. Another Bug Hunt.
Yeah. I got into Mothership when it was 0 edition.
Oh, nice.
So I had Epsilon, whatever that one was called, and it was a little crunchier. The game system, not that much crunchier. But yeah, Epsilon, whatever it was really the Haunting of Epsilon. It was really good. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're cooler than me because you got into it way earlier, but I still.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I have them. They're all in like paperboard to keep them like from bending and stuff, and plastic. Sweet. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're
But other than Shadowdark and Pirate Borg and Mothership, one of my favorite things is every week I play in a 3-hour Osric game, and that game, Terry Barney, our local AD&D guy, but we bust out our AD&D books. In fact, in our last campaign, we kind of cross over into OSE. You guys are OSE fans, but I actually played an entire campaign. Nice. I played an entire campaign with the Carcass Crawler Halfling Reeve class, which I really enjoyed because I love the halflings. I'm a halfling guy.
Oh, you just became best friends with Gary.
Nice.
You're now a friend of the show. Anytime you need on to talk about anything whatsoever, just let me know. We'll bump Tinkar.
Yeah,
it's whatever.
I need to show you. I used to play this game called Kings of War for many years, and I used to go to Adepticon and play competitively in tournaments for it. And back when they came out with their halfling army, I painted an entire halfling army once. It was awesome.
Nice. Wow.
So, but I love halflings. I had Gary Con 2 years ago. I bought like all these metal halfling models. I've still got them and haven't painted them yet. But I just like anytime I see a halfling on a peg, I'm buying that. I love halflings, and I love miniatures too. But But yeah, Osric is the bomb. I love Matt Finch, and he's brilliant. There's an influence for you, Matt Finch. That guy's a genius. So
We had him on
there
the
you
show
go.
like almost a
Yeah.
month ago,
Uh,
and that was a great privilege. Yeah, he's great.
yeah,
He's great.
Chris Gonerman. There's another influence. I love Basic Fantasy. I played that for years.
Great game.
Yeah, and got to play with him. He was actually at NukeCon last year and got to play games with him all weekend. It was awesome. Super nice guy. Yeah, mainly right now, just I mean, every once in a while, I don't really play 5e anymore. I mean, I'll play in a game. I would never run 5e again unless somebody like paid me a bunch of money.
The only guy I know running 5e right now
Yeah,
is Cloaker, and because one, I think he is getting paid.
nice.
Isn't his paid group is 5e, and
Perfect.
he's also doing it out of defiance. He's starting a 5e game on the server,
Yeah,
really to antagonize the OSR guys more than anything else.
I think like look,
Yeah.
Brian has got. I mean, I'm speaking from a particular perspective here because I've known Brian and Gary for quite a few years here, and we've talked a lot. We've gotten to arguments and fights a lot about how to
We have,
properly
we
run a
have,
game.
Yeah.
And
yes.
we're all so very different, and but the proof is in the pudding. Brian, Gary, and I have players that come back to our table. So I am going to just tell everybody who's on the Discord server, if you're interested in a very personal, intimate experience, please sign up to Cloaker's game.
Yeah. See, if I got in that argument, I would just join the
Right.
chat and I'd be like, I'll bet I could run a game wronger than you.
No, actually, I think Brian's game will be a lot of fun. I think his 5e
yes.
game will be a lot of fun. Depending on when he schedules that, I'm probably, depending on how he's running it, I'm going to try to pop into that game.
I would do it too. I don't know when he's scheduling it, but I would totally do it. I would totally
Yeah,
do it.
but we'll have to see what's going on there.
And I'll be
I
good. I
don't
won't
know.
try to kill everybody.
You always try to kill everybody,
Just let the
Matt.
dice do it. Let the
Yeah.
dice decide.
Bill, you don't understand. When as a
Yeah.
player, Matthew is often not just how fast can I die, it is how fast can I die and take your characters with me.
Nice. There you go.
I like pressing the big red button.
Oh yeah.
And if I can convince you to press the big red button, I'll do that first.
I do that at conventions. When I was I played in two of Zane's games at North Texas, and in both I died because I was just like, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I would have usually felt bad, Bill, but because it was you, I was like, I'm glad it was you and not one of the other people, just because he knew that I could take it. I'm like, I'm just pressing buttons and having fun. So,
Well,
how did you get in the hobby, man? Like, what was your first game? Like, how'd you get started?
Yeah, so it was actually at a Boy Scout camp because I'm an Eagle Scout, so
oh, very nice.
yeah, I use it to go to cabin camping every year, and the kids would bring out board games and stuff. So one of these kids brought in this black box with a red dragon on it. It was the old AD&D set with like the standees in it, and we busted that baby out and we played that thing completely wrong. And we got nothing right, but we still had fun, And then after that, I went and got that and we got the Hero Quest box set because we were like, oh yeah. And then we got Battle Masters, and me and my little brother would play Hero Quest completely wrong with our friends and our, I don't think that we played D&D right until probably years after we started playing it, but
Nobody played D&D right back then.
Yeah,
nobody played it right.
No.
Yeah,
and that's you're going back to the nostalgia of the thing that you never experienced. I wonder if some of the OSR, and here I am about to criticize, I wonder if some of the OSR is too nostalgic. Like, what exactly are you?
Yeah.
Like, there's the childlike innocence of
Yeah.
like encountering the game the first time, but then you gain experience, you're like looping back and going, well, maybe if had I done it this way, it would have been better. I wonder if like the OSR gets a little bit blinded by that, because like I remember running the game when I was in 1988 when I first got into it, 87.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, we'll roll initiative, we'll do this and that, but we were not like really focusing on procedure. We weren't really focusing on hex crawl. Yeah, I wasn't playing it right, but god damn did I have fun. And I had so much fun that I'm still playing
like,
it
fun
30, 40 years down the road. You know what
sure.
I mean?
Yeah.
If you're having fun, you're doing it right. That's all that matters. That's the way I feel. And I guess I don't really dive in that deeply on the theoreticals and the red box. And oh man, I love those old box sets, man. I it's like a grail when you've got one of those in your hands and you're looking at the old dice and the crayon and everything, man. I'll tell you what. Yeah, getting that white box was oof. I mean, I don't have a white box. What are you talking about? But
I don't. I've seen one, but I
actually did get one, and it's like definitely like I had to tell my wife, I'm like, you know what? If I die, out of all the stuff, just this thing right here, this is this is worth money. Don't sell this at the garage sale. So, but yeah, I completely I agree. You've got to have fun, and the gatekeeping of the OSR. Like I hear people talk about, I want to be the opposite of that. I want to be welcoming. I want to make sure everybody's having a good time. As an extrovert, I feel like it's my job to find the person in the corner that doesn't have a friend, and I'm like, get over here, let's play some games. That's kind of how I roll. I'd rather everybody have a good time.
You've actually come to the right place, because story game is not a bad word here. And while I do consider myself an OSR guy, I'm not afraid of the adventure path. I don't think it's a railroad. And
you look at Righteous Vow 4, like there's an adventure that goes through that. There's a storyline there. There's enough there and a hex crawl and enough there to completely ignore it. But if you want to go through it, there's a whole 5 adventure path that can be mixed matched and broken apart or whatever. So I love storylines. Yeah.
And like I appreciate the arguments for the rules as written proponents in that one annoying section of the OSR. Like I don't think they're wrong, but there comes a point where like, well, you're gonna end up playing the same boring game every time you sit down at the table. And I think it's also stifling from a creative aspect, because being a game master is about creation, whether it's not whether it's all the same. Like you're creating a world, you're creating experience, and at some point you're going to have to start creating rules, and those rules are going to deviate from the raw. And so if like you're a raw proponent, and you're all about rules as written, oh my god, Gary Gygax said it's this way. Well then you've just totally undercut 50 years of development, 50 years of evolution. You know what I mean?
I'm very much a rules as intended. The rule of cool trumps all. The spirit of the game is what's important to me, and I feel like when you get too in the weeds with the rules as written stuff, it just like I want my games to be like Gary, covered in dogs and happy. That's what I want.
Cool. Hang on. Let me catch my breath. You're killing me here.
I'll just say this. I'll say this, and then I'll let Gary go on a rant. I want the freedom to create and to imagine, right? And I want to be able to do that. Now, I don't necessarily think ultimate freedom is a good idea, but like at the end, but I came to that conclusion myself after many years of experimentation. So like, and I just think the hardliners on the rules as written, like they like hamstring themselves. Like you can't even get off the ground. You're just stuck playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition with your wrestling memes.
I just think of that meme. Have you seen that meme where there's like the one guy in the corner and everybody else is having fun and they're like, yeah, but this, and then they're just like, okay, cool, and then they go back to saying what they're going to say.
Yeah, yes,
that's kind of how I feel. I feel about like the rules as written people. It's like, yeah, I understand that, but we're having fun over here, so let's not worry about it.
I'm with you.
Try to sweat that.
That's exactly how I feel segments of this hobby. Anyway, Gary, go ahead.
I just disagree with fucking everything that was being talked about for the past fucking 5 to 10 minutes. I think everything from the moment I heard Rule of Cool, everything after that has been complete and utter bullshit. And I can't believe we're letting it on this show. Welcome to Second Watch, Bill.
So we went from being a guest to like rules as written hate. Now it's like,
well, yeah. You see, here's the problem, Bill. Here's the problem. I understand that you have been playing long enough that Rule of Cool. Actually, I can't even bring myself to fucking say it. No, nobody's been playing long enough to make Rule of Cool official. But I do understand rulings over rules. I understand that sometimes you just got to make a call. The problem is that a child might watch this, and that child might have friends that want to play tieflings in a game where there are no tieflings. But the Rule of Cool says, well, as long as we're all fucking having fun. But part of the fun is that the rules don't work with you.
Here's the beautiful thing. Like, okay, so I am running the cult against the cult of the reptile god in Shadowdark in Greyhawk for some of my friends right now. And there is a one of my players who fully wants to play a lizard man. And I'm like, all right, you can play a lizard man. But when he got into Orlane, if he's going to go in there as a lizard man, they're coming out with pitchforks and torches, and he's not going to have a good time, right? So I said, I'm going to totally let this happen, but we need to introduce your character later, like, when they get to the Rushmores, maybe, they find him in the swamps or something. But I try to let people do what they want to do. It's not always going to work out. Like if someone came to me and they were dead set on like bringing this tiefling into Greyhawk or wherever, or this world, I'd say, yeah, you could do it, but it's not, people are going to be like, what the heck is that thing? It's a demon. Is that one of Ayu's followers? Are they coming down to the south or what? And then, they're going to freak out and bad things are going to happen and that character will probably die rather quickly. And then you move on.
Do you, and we're getting into like DM theory now, which I love. Are you a yes but guy, or are you no is a good thing to say to players?
I think that you can say no, but there's always like I said no to no, you can't bring your lizard man character in right now, but I'm like a yes and then a no but because I want to give an explanation of why the answer is no, just because I don't want someone to think, oh, he just doesn't like my idea or he hates this and he's grumpy about it. I want to say, no, not right now, but later, yes, because of this. And this will be the best opportunity to do that. I don't like saying no just to say no. There are times where, and I got this from my buddy Terry, where someone will say, "Can I do this?" And you pick up a bunch of dice, you roll them on the table, and say, "Oh, looks like you failed," or "No, it didn't work out." It's just a joke. Or like when somebody's like, "Did I survive?" Well, let's see. Let's make a check. Roll 3d6 6 times, and we'll see what happens. But it's just, I like to be open to the ideas that my players have, and I don't like to say no, but at the same time there are times where I don't love Looney Tunes games. I that
Sure.
happened in 5e. I don't want a Loxodon bard and like a tiefling. Tieflings are okay. I just I do have a deep hatred, and I'm sorry, I will say this. Like, I do not. What are they called? The
Dwarves, fuck
war
dwarves.
forged
I hate no. I'm
artificers.
just
War forged
Okay.
artificers are my least favorite. I just don't.
Bill, did you want to join the second watch? Because I think Gary's departing.
I'm just
Dwarves
kidding. I'm
rule.
just kidding.
Okay, no.
Oh, I love.
Warforged. Yeah, no, I love the concept of Warforged.
Yeah.
If and only if I'm playing in a world that supports them.
Right, exactly.
I mean?
That's the thing. Like, if you're expecting it, like, it's like I don't like fantasy games where someone just all of a sudden injects sci-fi into it. It's like, I got to be ready for this. You got to tell me what's going on here. I am not. I'm sorry, I'm not a steampunk guy, like, at all. I don't like steampunk very much.
Me either.
But I mean, I can appreciate it, and I've played steampunk one shots and games before, and gotten into it and had fun. I will play anything as one shot. Will I play a campaign of that? Probably
Sure.
not. But I'll play anything. And I like to explore other people's great ideas.
Do you? Well, this is interesting. This is the kind of stuff I really like talking about. So, do you, as a game master, do you think there's a limit to player agency in terms of like what they bring to the table?
Yeah, I think here's the other thing is I really like the concept of lines and veils. I personally I kind of just fast track it a little bit. I say, we're all human beings. If there's something that bothers you, please step out, talk to me. I'm here to. And I've had instances in the past, unfortunately, where I've failed as a game master because I didn't provide that, and I've learned from it. And fortunately, in every instance, it has worked out. But I am very, very. I try to make sure that I'm aware of and receptive to anyone's spiders are bad, or I don't want to have this in my game. I'm totally someone who wants to always facilitate a safe and fun and friendly environment.
Sure. That's not exactly what I was getting at.
Oh, please tell me exactly what you were.
Oh, there goes
player has. Oh, Jesus, am I here? I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. The gremlins, they're trying to stop.
Yeah, you're glitching a little bit.
What that's not exactly what I was getting at. Like, what I'm asking is like when a player has a concept or character idea and they want to play in the game, do you think there's a limit to that? Like, you as a game master, like, are you going to always say yes, or are you going to say, you know what, that doesn't fit what I'm doing right now?
I usually try to make it fit, but if they've got something that's like so far out in left field that it's completely off the mark from what we're doing, I'll say, I like this idea for this type of game, but could you instead maybe select something kind of along these lines, So I do at times do that. I think that it hasn't been a problem for Shadowdark just because people know what they're expecting. Back in 5e, I was more, and that's kind of the reason why I don't want to run 5e anymore, because there's so many Looney Tunes, different things you can do that I just don't, it just doesn't get me excited to play, just because it's like, I had a 20-minute turn because I had 14 bonus actions.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
If I never play a game with a bonus action in it again, I'll be a happy guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I hear that. I definitely hear that.
So yes and no. Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, as a player, like if you were to join someone's game, and you had an idea, and the game master said, "No, that's not going to work for the world that I've created," would would that turn you off, or would you like be okay with it? Like,
No, I think
change?
that I go into being a part of a game. This is how I go into every game that I'm invited to. And this is how I work. I'm like, first of all, this person has put their effort into creating this world for us to come in and enjoy. And the first thought I have is I'm just thankful that they were kind enough to invite me to their table. And I'm thankful that I get to be a part of this craziness. And, even though I can be ridiculous at times, as you saw at North Texas Con, and we had a great time being ridiculous.
Parkour.
And parkouring,
Yeah.
brothers in parkour forever. And, and I think that Gary needs to come parkour with us next time.
He totally has to parkour with us.
You don't understand. I was all tired. It was Saturday afternoon. I'm like, you know what, guys? Because I live 3 hours away, right? I'm just going to drive home, kiss my wife, hug my kids, eat some, food at home. It'll be great. I'm an hour down the road. The weather behind me is horrible. Like Dallas, Dallas is about to get rained on real hard.
Yeah.
And I get this notification. Actually, I think it was Cloaker. I think it was Brian texting me. Chubby's running Shadow City.
Yeah.
And I thought about turning around, but then there was the black clouds behind me. It was like, forget about it. So I missed out. I know I missed out.
That's all right. Next time.
Next time. We'll see what happens.
All good. But yeah, I mean, I try to be, anytime I'm invited to a game, I don't mind being told I can't do something because of the environment or the world or the theme of the game. And I feel like the theme of the game is important. Like I even say in Righteous Vow 4, I'm like, these classes and even in Righteous Vow 2, I had the Ratkin and the Lizardmen, and it's like these are great for this world and this adventure. But I think that every DM should be like in control of what's included in their game. It's their world that they're allowing you to sandbox in and contribute to and collaborate in. So I feel like they're ultimately the person that gets to decide those things, and the players should be receptive to that. That being said, when I DM, I try to be as accommodating as possible, because sometimes you've got 9 and 10-year-old kids that are like, my name is Godzilla and I'm a fighter and I'm level 2, Yeah. Hey,
you gotta teach those kids. Don't be dumb, kid.
Death
Your
Zero.
name's not
Godzilla. That kid was my son, and my son was playing in Terry's game.
You should see how I talk to my kids.
And he got murdered. He got straight up murdered. A frost dragon came in, and we were all in a line going down this cavern, and just like absolutely just like frost breath and froze us all to death and killed us. And then we got out the death stamp, and he's holding up his page and smiling. And that's a beautiful thing. I run games out here at the game shop here in Omaha, and we've got like mothers and daughters and fathers and sons, and they're holding up their death stamped character sheets.
That's awesome. That's
great. Just a prime example of like, these kids can handle it. They're not afraid of the OSR. They can jump these games. And you know what they did? They crossed out the name and they were like Godzilla 2, and they put like the back in.
I am shocked. I am consistently shocked, and I have a couple guys in my in-person gaming group who are like offended that their character can die. And they're like 40, 50, 60-year-old men. And then my boy shows up just to kind of game with us one night, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm going to play a dwarf named Twarok, and I'm going to go pick a fight with the ogre." And everyone's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Whatever." It's something that shocks me. This is a whole nother conversation. 2nd edition, 3rd edition, 4th edition, 5th edition, the whole story arc thing, you're part of a story. I think it lent itself to people having some kind of plot armor, but like you can still design an adventure path without the plot armor. That's the thing. and I just think players have gotten spoiled.
Oh
But
man, yeah.
anyway, um,
Your adventures.
let me ask you this: as a if I've already asked the Appendix N question,
Sure.
but now I'm curious if you had your druthers, if you could have the best, your choice of game master, setting, game system,
Mm.
what is it? If you're a player, what
Yeah.
is it?
I think that right now, I feel like even though, like, I love Shadowdark and I play it all the time, but I just love Osric too. Like, it's a toss up for me because Osric is just such, it's
Yeah.
just such a great system. I love it, and I think that I would run. If I had to run something for the rest of my life, it would be Shadowdark. If I had to play something for the rest of my life, it'd probably be Osric. You know, so.
Nice.
But I
Nice.
love both systems so much, which is it's just basically AD&D. So
Yeah, yeah.
Matrix, we still use the
Um,
Matrix.
what did you think of Adventure Conquer King system? Not necessarily Chubby's game, but just in general,
Um,
but that because that game is like so,
yeah,
too many. I walked away not sure how I felt about
right.
it, and this is not a reflection on Chubby's gaming. It's I'm just looking at the system. I'm like, I don't know how I feel
Yeah,
about
I thought it had a lot to it. Like it was crunchier than what I've been playing lately, which it had a lot of options to it that were cool. I guess I didn't play enough of it to really because I knew like even when I was playing my character, I'm like, there's probably like a ton of stuff that I haven't even gotten to yet, because I got sent that book by a friend and then I started looking at it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't because I had like the three books sitting on a shelf probably like 2 months before I ever even opened it up and didn't realize what I had because he was talking about it at North Texas. He's like, we're gonna play Acts 2, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I go online and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, that's what that. Wait, I think I got sent that, and I went and looked and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that is. Okay, because I didn't even realize what it was. I'd never even really heard of it, and yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was like I don't know. The art's really cool in it. I don't know enough about the game to really give too much of an opinion, which is kind of a bummer because it looks like a beautifully put together game, but I just don't know enough about it. It seemed like it played all right, but it seemed like it was probably a little crunchier than what I have time for.
it. Yeah,
I've already got enough systems.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah.
kind of. I think I'm in the same boat. Like, I
yeah,
appreciate what it can do, and I
but am
use it
I
as a
going to take the
reference.
time to do this really bad?
Yeah, I use it as a reference for my other OSR games when my
Yeah,
players are like, "Hey, we want to run a bar," and I'm like, "Okay, well, Axe Scott has rules for that," and I'll just
yeah,
pull
and then
that out.
bust it out, and then use
You
that for
know,
this session. Yeah,
there's been a lot of talk about Axe recently and sort of along these lines and people using it for ideas, but maybe not playing it. I really, and I think I think Mr. Macris might disagree with me, but I don't think I think it's hard to read. The game isn't hard, but it's written in that sort of old school. You're going to sit down and you're going to read a book, but his
yeah,
books are fucking 400 pages a piece. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So it's one of those things where it's kind of,
It
it's a
is a
little
weighty
difficult.
tome.
And I don't think the game itself is really that difficult. I think it's just thorough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know
it
what
is.
I mean? I think it's thorough, and I think the amount of time you've got to spend in book, you know what I'm saying? Whereas
Yeah,
when you look at these rules light games that everybody's on, it's a sentence. This is this. It's it's
yep,
reading. You're reading a fucking spreadsheet from work.
yep,
So there's a difference. I definitely think there's a place for Axe. I think I would. It's just I can't run it. It's
right.
one of those things. Where's that sweet spot? You were talking earlier. As the player, I would play this forever, but as a GM, I would run this forever. Which it really makes you think, right? That really does. If that's the case, because my contention is that there have been certain games here recently that the GMs are much more excited about than the players. You know, it's a rules light games, and the players are like, yeah, that's cool. You know, if they care, you know what I mean? If they care what rules set they're playing, but it's really the GMs. Anyway, sorry, that's just me going off thinking
Yeah,
about things.
I still get excited about DCC. Some people are like, "Oh, so many tables," but I actually get excited about them. I'm like, "Dude, I love DC's tables. That's the flavor, man."
DCC is a great game as long as everybody at your table loves the tables too.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? Because everybody's got to open that book. You know what I
yep,
mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's got
Yeah.
to dive into it. So that's really, that's one of those things where you really need to curate your group at the table real
yeah.
well. And I don't know that it would. I've played a little bit of that online.
Hmm.
I don't know how a long my big complaint with DCC is that everybody, when you try to talk about DCC to people, everybody thinks of the character funnel. Like that's the
Yeah,
whole game. They talk
yep,
about that for hours. And it's
yeah,
like, bro, that's just character creation.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
that is. There's this whole other game that most of y'all haven't even touched.
yep.
You know what? I'm pulling my DCC books out. Anyway.
I'll tell you what, I really enjoy DCC Lankmar. Those Lankmar modules are so great.
Oh,
Um,
bro.
but yeah,
Yes, they are. They are. And this is probably one of the
yep,
coolest box sets
yeah.
you can get.
I've got
I
all the
can't let it
Lankmar
go.
stuff. I just love it.
Yeah.
Um,
Anytime I hear somebody talk about Link Mars, not that somebody was talking about, I read the Link Mars stuff. I didn't like it that much. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
it's
That
good.
stuff is so good. That
It's
stuff is so
good.
good. Yep.
It's
So
fun.
all right, guys. It is 11:33. My
Yeah.
dog is taking a dookie in the kitchen. I need to take care of that. Give me a second.
All right.
Do it.
Yeah, we hit the 2 hour mark, a little past the 2 hour mark.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well,
I'm fine.
Bill, is there anything we need to know about you that we haven't talked about? Like,
Oh, I don't know. I'm just here having a good time. As I said, I'm just thankful to be here and thankful that people are staying up late. It looks like and hanging out with us. So, thank you everybody. Yeah, I just I love being a part of the community. Hopefully everybody goes out and checks out, go to crawlclub.com, check out our books. If you're at Gen Con, go to the Arcane Library book or library booth and check out our zines or our books, and please hop on Righteous Violence on Kickstarter. We've got 3 days left, and I'd love to get some more of those Pirate Borg zines in people's hands. So,
yeah, a lot of those links are down in the description. Definitely check it out. I've had the pleasure, like as you've heard, like we played at North Texicon.
yeah,
Bill and I and Gary got to play in Chubby's Axe game. Bill's a good guy, knows his shit. I absolutely love Righteous Vow. If you're into the Pirate Borg, go fucking support that Kickstarter. Bill, it's been great to have you on.
been great to hang out. Thank you guys.
Dude, you are easily a friend of the chat or a friend of the show. So if you ever want to be on the show again, just let us know. We'll get you on.
Absolutely.
We'll just shill the next
Whenever you
thing. Or
want.
hell, just to fucking talk about some random topic you want to talk about.
Absolutely.
But with that said, guys, the chat's been great. Love your comments. Love the questions. Those of you who are members, thank you so much. If you haven't thought about being a member, please check it out. But other than that, next week is Tenkar.
Nice. I gotta be in the chat for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one.
He's
The
the man.
Godfather. The
Yes.
Godfather.
Indeed. But with that, folks, our watch has ended. Y'all have a good rest of your weekend. Take care, everybody.
Have a good one.
Later.